Hello and welcome to another episode of Double Exposure. Joining me from Peru. Jimena, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Hello. What a joy to be here. Thank you. My name is Jimena Yengle. I'm 19 years old and I'm a Peruvian artist and writer. I have dedicated myself to art since I was very young, and currently I am studying physical therapy and rehabilitation, psychology, and performing arts. So I'm so happy to be here.
Wow, Jimena, that's a lot of stuff. You've been busy.
I've been working on so many projects. I am currently working on several projects. I have started a beautiful new part of my life as director of a virtual musical in Kingston, in Canada. And I'm also directing my own space for children creations called Maniobras Mágicas here in Peru. And also, I am working on my second book.
Second book. That's an achievement. A lot of us haven't gotten to our first yet. That's impressive. And you're only 19 years old. When did you start creating? How did you get into the art world, the theater world, the 10 billion things you're doing?
Well, I started creating like from a very young age. Like my first love was painting. In my first years of life, I dedicate myself to explore art, to explore all its forms, to express myself, to get to know myself, to start creating. And I was always moved by colors, by the abstract, and I got used to the paint, to I also get used to music and to all kinds of forms in art. Yes.
Is there a particular type of art that you're focused on, or is it just kind of everything?
I think I love art in all its forms. Painting will always be my first love, and acting will always be my greatest love. So I am learning like to know it, and every time I fall in love more with art, and it's something so magical. And also there is literature, which when I discovered, I was like in that time of my life, I was solving certain jobs and analyzing many peculiarities of human experience. So writing became something really important to me. Now it colors my life. And then of course I can't forget music. I mean, also music has always been there. My love for music inspires me. It fills me with energy and moves me as a human being, and it's something I'm spending more time on because I want to improve in music, I want to improve in singing, and now I'm concentrating on practicing like breathing exercises and voice exercises to have like a good technique. Yes.
That's impressive. When did you write your first book?
My first book, I read it like in February of year, and yes, like a few months ago. It was a very magical process. I mean, Roma Enamorada, that's the name of my first book. It's a story of real connections, really focused on the mental processes that we have in the human experience, that we have as human beings, and how this experience and how these connections are making a path in our lives. And for me, experiencing vulnerability and building relationships is love, and that's what I wanted to give in this book. So I wanted to explain the diversity of ways that we love with our minds and with our hearts. The characters of Roma Enamorada represents wishes and operate in a world that we already know that it's our world where we have to do something to change the things, and there is always something really peculiar about the situations the characters face.
It's a lot. I feel like you touched on a really important topic there, community building and our relationships and all that stuff is very important. I feel like that's forgotten, I guess, in modern society, since I guess everyone's running for the next big thing, and I feel like social interactions aren't considered as important as they were in the past. So it's important, it's crucial that I guess young writers and artists are actually bringing this to spotlight again, re-emphasizing how important it is to continue things that we might consider like old-fashioned because we live half our lives on our phone now. So,
Yes.
what inspires you?
Well, what inspires me? When I write, for example, I have always been inspired by sensations, by emotions, feelings, by desires, and also by memories, which reflect the essence of the human experience. I think the human experience itself inspires me. I remember writing Roma Enamorada, that in the moment I wrote Roma Enamorada, I I was in search of a lot of doubts and existential questions which rose in my adolescence because I was younger. And I remember like feeling very frustrated at the point, because I felt we were living in a disconnected world, so superficial, and I was struggling to find something like real in that desert of banalities with superficialities. So with that idea in mind, I wanted to write a story about real connections, like responding to what I believe did not exist. And along the way, I realized that there was still a way to revive this society that is so absorbed in the material things. And yes.
That's beautiful. You mentioned the fact that you live in a superficial world and a material world. How does that affect you currently? I know that I've been affected by my entire practice is dedicated to the material world, and conquering it. But how did it affect you and your current? How does it affect you and your current work right now? Considering the fact that your book is obviously based on this huge topic of expanding beyond the material and seeking real connections.
Yes, I mean, it's a topic that it has always been really present, really there in my life. And yeah, it's like really, really important. It has like, it's been a problem for so many years for me because I have always been a person that used to. I am a person who is like used to speak with all the heart and write with all the heart and love with all the heart. And sometimes society is not getting used to that. It's more we're used to pretend more. Yeah, society used to pretend more, yeah, and not so much of authenticity. So yeah, I think it was a problem for me. It affects me. Like in this moment of my life, it affects me less. I have been struggling with that a few years ago, but now finally, I think authenticity is the best thing in in the world. So yeah, so we have to make everything to preserve the real connections that we have, especially in difficult times.
That's a very important point you made there. I feel like, yes, we are living in a society where people feel the need to put a facade on, a face on to feel the need to be accepted, but they're not themselves fully, and it takes away from their entire persona. And obviously, you can't connect, you can't really be yourself and actually fully connect with real people who want to know the real you if you're not being the real you yourself. That's very
Yeah.
complicated.
No, you're right. That's stop connections for real. Yeah.
Like I struggle with that too. I mean, obviously as a teenager, you're like in this weird phase of like, who am I? But like at a certain point in time, I just accepted like this is who I am, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yes, I'm like not like we're all like a work in progress. Obviously, we all commit flaws and like good and bad. But obviously, just be yourself fully, but also like constantly know that you're a work in progress. Like you're never a finished piece, a finished. I don't think it's possible actually. You can never be finished developing fully, mentally, emotionally. You know what I mean? It's always you can always be better. You can always do better, and
Yeah,
you're
of
always
course.
seeking for that.
Yeah. You can always improve. Yeah, in every aspect of your life. Yes.
How did you enter theater and cinema? Now that we're talking about connections, how did you connect writing and painting?
I think I think they are incorporated in a very natural way, like because they are areas or disciplines that, in my opinion, are really interconnected, and they also interest me a lot. Psychology has its origins in philosophy, so it's like really connected to express through my work what is the real meaning behind these disciplines. I also really like to talk about what it connects these disciplines in writing.
Writing is, I guess, yeah, you're right. It does connect all the disciplines together. And I guess that's from your core, I guess, main creative disciplines as well. What are you doing in theater right now, in theater production?
In theater productions right now, I am currently training to be an actress in actors training school who is called 10 Talentos here in Peru. That's my dream of all my life. I am also directing a virtual musical, and it's a challenge for me because like being a director is an unknown terrain. Like it's something I have never do, and I have no experience, but I I am still learning. But as always, I seek to grow, to enrich myself with wonderful experiences, with wonderful connections, and generate an impact on society through a message of love and hope. So I'm learning, but I think it's a beautiful process. I'm really enjoying it.
How did you get into theater and acting?
Well, when I was very little, I dreamed of being an actress, and then I didn't have the opportunity when I started college because we haven't that career here in Tarma, in the city where I live. But this year I had the opportunity to enter to 10 Talentos, this acting school, because we're everything is virtual right now. So yes, I had the opportunity there. I met wonderful people. They taught me like so much, and they continue teaching me. Then that's how I entered to this wonderful world of theater, and I really want to stay in it. I found dramaturgy, which fascinates me as I discover it, and yes, and also acting. Yeah.
Give you role models in, I guess, the acting world and the art world. Like, who do you look up to? Who are you inspired by?
Role models. I really like Walt Whitman's work in poetry, for example, Henry David Thoreau, also in poetry and writing. I in poetry also Sylvia Plath. I think she was really talented. In terms of acting stuff, I really admire Robin Williams, for example.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, he was so fun and so talented. I mean, I remember I watched Patch Adams like 4 years ago, and yes, that really inspired me to study a career in health, a health career, and also to keep develop in art. Then I found clown, and I love it too. So it's something beautiful. It's something beautiful. It's magical. Yes, Robin Williams and Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Have you?
I know
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
I love him too. Yes. I mean, he's a really good actor. He's so dedicated and
Passionate.
so passionate. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
The two actors you mentioned, Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, you can see like they're so into their role that you can like their emotions aren't like, I guess, forced or fake. Like they are the character, and it just makes it even more real. It's why you get immersed into film even more.
Something incredible. Like wow, it's a really hard job too for an actor to to be like in that position in that characters. I mean, Jim Carrey has like these really difficult characters to play. For every actor, it's difficult.
Continuing with theater, you said you started a few years ago, I guess, in theater, but like you've always like been into acting. Where do you see yourself in theater world in like 5 years from now? I mean, you're already like directing, and like you already come to Canada from Peru, which is already a huge move. So where do you see yourself in like 5 years if you were to continue your path in theater production?
Well, I really want to spend my time acting. Yes, I want to keep acting in my own productions and also in other productions but always with a message. I think in theater, like an instrument of conscious, young conscious too. So yes, that's really important to me, to act in something with meaning, and yes, I see myself acting, directing too, because I'm really enjoying this job. And yes, why not exploring more? I would like to explore acting in experimental productions, in dance theater productions, also in physical theater productions, and also in clown. I love clown, and yeah, I would love to be part of a volunteer organization of clowns or this type of things. I see myself like doing that job, and maybe in other countries or here in my country. Yeah.
I love that you're so ambitious and like you have a lot of things you want to do, which I love. Like I feel like a lot of people don't have like a billion things they want to do. I haven't met enough people that want to do everything, and so I love that you want to do everything and it is possible. But yes, I'm rooting for you on that. Okay, this is a bit of a difficult question. You're only 19, okay? 5 years ago and 5 years from now, where do you see yourself fully? I said theater production before, but like this is your entire like this is your life, your entire career. Where were you 5 years ago, and where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Like first 5 years ago, I think I saw myself doing what I love. I didn't expect like like this year, because this year, yes, it was like a lot of job and a lot of surprises and opportunities for me. And yes, I mean, that shocked me. But few years ago, I used to live more calm life, like not doing so many things, like just relax, studying, and yes, painting sometimes, but not like really focus on my projects. But now it's really different. Like since I published Roma Enamorada, my life like just turned upside down. Like it was like really different. And now I see myself in 5 years. I think I see myself doing what I love, around whom I love, and I have a project that for now it's my dream, but I hope in that time I I will be advanced a little bit, like just a little bit. I would like to direct a center for children's healing and creation, that it's like a safe space where children receive like psychological care, physiotherapeutical care, and in different disciplines of art. I firmly believe that the power of art, as an instrument of collective consciousness, and also as an instrument for healing hearts. And I tell you how I imagine it. Like I imagine it like a place with full of colors, with clowns walking through through the corridors, through spaces, and children building like cardboard castles, and a theater where we all perform together. And yes, I really want to have a center like that. I don't think I will have it like in 5 years, because it's being too ambitious. But I hope to be advanced like a little bit in 5 years.
That's an amazing vision. I'm in on that. That's beautiful. I think, especially I guess with children, I feel like yes, art is healing. Once you add children into the mix and teach them art and like get on them, that's a bit more innocence. I guess you guys, us artists, art is a bit more serious to us now. But like, if you're teaching art to kids, it's a bit more like playful and fun, and it's not just like serious, serious artist talk, serious like gallery stuff and institutional stuff. It's just like make art, just play with it, have fun with it, like it should be.
Yes. I mean, as artists, we play. We are not kids, but we play. We play because we enjoy. We enjoy our works, and that's how it works. Yeah.
I mean, we're like our inner child is. I feel like it's still like out there. Like a lot of people when they grow up, like their inner child kind of like hides, But as artists, we keep it alive because we're constantly surrounded by colors and playful things. We don't want to lose that part of ourselves because I feel like that's what makes us artists, and that's what allows us to connect with people at a deeper level because we're still connected to an inner child who wants to seek compassion and empathy and understand people on a deeper level. I guess it's like a giant. I guess art is like a giant hug for the world, bringing happiness to like black and white that exists.
I mean, it's on the essence of the human being, right? Like this childhood, this childhood innocence that we preserve, that we have to preserve. Something beautiful, yeah, for children, for adults. That's why clown is important in all ages.
Clown still scare me a little bit, but like I get what you're saying. I mean, it's healing. I mean, as a writer, as a presenter, as a painter, I feel like out of those three, I've done it too. I do write here and there. I haven't published a book yet. That's on the list.
Oh, you will, and I have to read it. I promise.
Hopefully, I'll write it soon. Painters like we're constantly like, expressing ourselves, and I feel like a lot of people like tend to hide feelings and emotions because they don't want to seem weak. But I feel like as artists, as creatives of any discipline, we have the courage, we're strong enough to show that vulnerable part of ourselves to the world. Actually, by leading these, I guess, productions and like writing entire books based on like either our experience or things we've noticed in this world that need help, that I guess, our heart has seen and wants to fix. And paintings, and I mean, I feel like even as paintings, like they seem like they're just pretty pictures, but like the hours and hours and emotional torment that goes into it, there's so much vulnerability, there's so much emotion in there that I feel like the world needs more of.
Yes, of course. The world's need us as an artist. I mean, yeah, the compromise, the responsibility that has the role of the artist in society is something we can never forget. We have to act. We have the power for giving this little bit of hope, of healing, of love to our reader, in case of writers, to our public, to our to the people that it's in front of you, and it's like and the people that it's like really want to have a full day, and you can give it to them. Like you can give it's something really really beautiful about art. It's healing. It has so many powerful yeah, so much powerful.
I feel like you mentioned healing a lot. I feel like that falls into art therapy. I mean, you're studying psychology and philosophy and art at the same time. Do you do art therapy? Are you into art therapy? What's your take on art therapy?
Yes, I really I'm really interesting. I think it's really interesting area that I would like to explore more. I explored a few years with my mom. My mom is also a psychologist, so she started like a degree in art therapy. So when that happened, she told me about this great power that have for example the laugh like laughing, it's also healing. We like we observe it in clown also. I'm also talking about clown. But yes, I mean the therapy of laughing, the therapy, I see it as as a health student of physical therapy, I see that the way you treat a patient is wow, it's like almost determined in the treatment. Like if you make the patient feel comfortable, and if you have this therapeutic connection, that real connection that makes the patients have the confidence to to yes, to talk with you, and to make you so you care about the patient problems and the patient issues, and you don't see the patient as a number, you or as an illness. You see it as a person, as a human being, like with a heart, with a mind, and not just like one more thing that you have to do in your job. Like, yeah, we have to see like that. I mean, in all professions, we have to be more holistic, like have a more a bigger vision of the patient, yeah, of the person, of a human being.
I think it's an important point there. Seeing, I guess, patients as people and not just numbers or illness, because I feel that is, it's like we're going to health now. That is something that happens quite a lot in like the medical field or like the corporate world, where at least as artists we actually connect. Like as an artist to artists, we're like, hey, I know this person, I know their work, I know what their work is about, you know. But like in the corporate world, or like, I don't know, financial or like even the health, it's like this is this person, and like they're fine about either their health or their job or something very like, I don't know, it's not them. Like you're not your job, you're not your illness, you're more than just that. And as artists, I feel like we fit into like, we don't even fit into a box because we do like a billion things at once, right? Like you are more than just a writer, you're doing so many things, and probably more than that, right? You're I guess a bit like we connect more to our hearts than like our professions, even though our profession is a huge part of our life. We guys tend to talk to people and like connect with people through our hearts, like a genuine connection, as opposed to, I feel like me being biased, but like just a number or just like their paycheck or something, which I feel like is super shallow, and it does not need to be a thing. And I don't understand why it's a thing, but it just really strains on the world itself. But that's already so materialistic and so capitalistic that this narrative just adds on to it.
About everything you were saying, yes, I mean, you're right. Yes, I mean, artists, we are more we are also human beings with feelings. I mean, we are so with the vulnerability. I think we work with vulnerability in essence, in its essence. Like our work, it's vulnerability. We don't pretend, like as an artist we don't put mask on our work. We are getting used to express the truth, because the because our readers, our people, our public deserve the truth. So yes, we are sensitive people. Artists are sensitive people, and people should be.
We are, I feel like that's like, it's like a double-edged sword. Like you're sensitive, so that's a good thing and a bad thing in this world. Like you're able to connect deeply, but also it's like this world is not the best thing for people who are so sensitive.
Yes, like I mean, when when you're in school or in college, I don't know, but I mean, when you're in school, you have like so many people, and in life, I mean, in life, you met like so many people who tell you don't be like that, because you will end really bad. I mean, people it's gonna shit on you, and people it's gonna treat you bad, and it's not good to be to have this innocence. And that's not true, of course. I mean, innocence is the best thing you can have. It's something that really helps you to deal with problems, with conflict, to deal in a really assertive way with people. We don't need more pretentious. We don't need more. Yeah, we have too much already.
It's true. We definitely need more like creativity, some more vulnerability. Like art is still like a taboo thing because of, I guess, a lot of aspects of artists where it's sensitive or vulnerable. We're not scared to share the world. But I feel like that also makes it taboo because no one wants to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they, why like people yeah, why they don't understand that. I mean, it's like a really brave work, um, artists to and people who showcase their vulnerability, who work with vulnerability. It's a really brave word and a really brave work too, because it embrace all these feelings that are not always, you are not always comfortable with it, but it's good to have it. Um I remember this. Oh, there's a really intelligent and beautiful woman who talks about vulnerability. I don't know if you have heard of her. It's called Brené Brown. It's from Canada. It's from Canada.
I know that
Uh,
name.
yeah, because she talks about and she writes about vulnerability and courage and yeah, this type of things. So she said vulnerability is like the place where imagination and ideas and creativity is born. And yeah, I think that's true. That's true. Perfect example are artists. Yeah.
I mean, with vulnerability, you're allowed to like experience whatever it is you're feeling, from I guess pain to happiness to anger to everything in between. You don't shy away from that. You don't hide it. You accept it for what it is, and that lets you create even more because once you do that, you're able to express your feelings through your art in like a positive manner. I think that's where art therapy comes in. A lot of people, I feel like, in this day and age, they're not able to express, I guess, any emotion in a healthy manner. They either tend to like explode or like, I don't know, hide themselves, which again, it's so bad for you mentally and emotionally. But because we're able to express ourselves through a medium or like write about it or even discuss it, which only takes a lot of courage, we're a bit more, I guess, mentally, emotionally, we're a bit more stable because we allow ourselves to do these things.
Yeah, I mean, people um who are hiding feelings and sensations and yes, and also dreams and things that they want to change, they really just don't solve any of the problems. They really just um like face they are struggling with more and more conflicts, and it's, yeah, it's not getting in a happy ending or something like that. It's like a really really hard job. So yeah, to all these people, I think the best thing is to talk, to express, not only talking, also creating. Yeah, also creating, because that heals, that, yeah, that just makes your heart feel better. Hmm.
The heart, yeah, it's true. The world needs more people to create and let that emotion and that I guess emotion is the right word. Instead of if that was the thing, was that if that was normalized, the world wouldn't be as I guess chaotic as it does get once in a while. With like, this is like in every country, there's some random, I don't know, conflict arises with like violent conflict. I mean, like, I'm talking like chaos, riots, guns, all that kind of stuff. That thing would be minimalized if the people were able to express their anger in a healthy manner. If they were taught to, which again, I don't think they're taught to do that at an early age. Um, and I feel like if they were able to find an outlet for that, the violence that does come out, in this is like everywhere, this is global, would be minimized if people were taught to do that correctly.
Yes, I mean, that's something that society have to work on since people are little, since they are childs. Like, you can see it, like, since how they react in school fights. Since that moment, like, I mean, since that moment, you have to take care of a child. You have to take care of their hearts, of their feelings. You have to tell them, like, I see it because I work with these kids from Maniobras Mágicas, my space from for kids, and it's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful because you just pay like you pay them like a little bit of attention, and they are like, oh my god, like they are so creative, like they're so innovative, like have so many ideas, and yeah, so much imagination. They have so much to work on. So that's the point. They have to work on that. They cannot let it in the past, because sometimes when we grow up, we're like that, like not accepting our dreams, like, or um just keep um keep growing up and left the essence of the child. And yes, and also because society is too conflictive, and yes, and the moods that are around us are not always like really really good and so happy. And yes, I suppose that affect us as children, as adolescents, and also as adults. And yes, we have to face that, we have to accept it, and we have to create solutions for that, to that mission.
What advice would you give to your, I don't know, 15-year-old self?
Wow. Oh, my 15-year-old. Oh, she was like really, really, she was really busy doing nothing. Well, I will tell her that start doing, please. Please start doing. Stop sleeping. Stop sleeping. Start writing. Because you have the ideas, you just have to put it in. You take too long. Also, that's the moment, not later. Yes, and yeah, and focus on your studies too, because in that moment I was really more focused on sleeping than yeah, than school. Yeah. But it's like it's yeah, it's part of life. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
But you know, me was, this was like, oh my god, 9 years ago. Anyways, 9 years ago. Okay, that's not a big number. We're not gonna talk about that.
Oh, don't worry.
Pinomi was she was very shy. I mean, I was a quiet girl who I was like studious. I would answer all the questions. I was like always buried in books. I'm still buried in books, but back then I was literally always buried in books. Like I could not take a break. But also I was like super shy. Like I didn't know how to talk to people. Like if you know me, would not be doing this right now.
Well, true. I mean, me too. I was really shy too. Yeah, I don't know what girl. What's that? I think someone replaced us. Yeah.
Like a few years later, I'm like two completely different people.
Yeah, it's part of life. I mean, yeah, people change, dreams change. Yeah. At that moment, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know like what I was gonna be, like what was gonna happen tomorrow, something like that. I just care about my breakfast and my bed.
When was your like light bulb moment? Like this is what I want to be.
Wow. I think probably at 7 years, I was more mature than when I was 15. Yeah, at 7 years, I remember I watched a movie that it's called August Rush. It's about music. It's about a boy who is into music, and he just wanna find their parents, and yeah, it's like a very beautiful movie. So I watched it in a bus trip, um, and in that moment I felt something with music, and I felt something with art too. Um, I I was not so close to art in that moment. Like I mean, I used to paint, but I was not so close with music, with acting. I mean, I haven't had the experience in that moment. But when I watched that movie, I remember I felt something. I felt something really, really peculiar, like really special for me. And I told my mom, like, oh, I really, really wanna dedicate myself to music. And she told me, like, oh, you don't know, you don't even know how to play a guitar, right? Like something like that. Then she put in me like classes, guitar classes, and I was very bad. So she told me, like you are not good, like other thing, like. And I was like, no, I felt that connection, and that happened to me like when I saw that movie, and also with Patch Adams, and also with another movie who is called Dead Poet Society, and that's what happened to me, like with some movies and with some music also. When I also watch theater, yeah, I mean, when I watch theater, I think I always feel that with when I watch art, um when I am participating in something that has something to go with art. Like, yes, I mean, in that moment, I just fell in love with that sensation, with that feeling, yeah, with the feeling of connection, because I think music, it's also connection. This connection between all human beings, yeah, between that, it's so particular. um and yes, it I think it was in that moment I had like really focused moments in my life. That was the first moment. But then I think this year I realized I was in the good way. I mean, I was doing that I am doing what I love. In February, when all this thing about Romina Morales started, um I felt it was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And yeah, so so cheesy.
Smart. We all have those moments. You just had yours. I feel like that's 7 years old. Is like you're really mature to know what you're doing at 7. I didn't know what I was doing at 7. I was probably watching some Barbie when we were 7 years old.
I don't know where where that girl goes. Who replaced it at 15 years?
I didn't realize what I wanted to be until like I was 18, I think, in like my last year of high school. I lived in the design lab. Like I did not leave design lab. My background is graphic design before going to like visual art. So like I was VP of yearbook. My happy place in the entire school was either design lab, the art classroom, or outside, basically. Other classes, I was like, oh my god. But then I got into like art school. I was like, okay, this is my happy place. Like I live in the studio now. You know?
Yeah. Finally.
But like I feel like it was like, I did not leave the studio until like 1 or 2 in the morning sometimes, because I was like, I didn't want to go home. And I was spending hours and hours and hours painting. And like obviously we had like a billion coffee breaks, because you know, I feel like that's a cliche artist thing. But
oof, coffee. Yeah, but I mean that represents your passion. Yeah, I mean, I understand you, because I always like still write. I write until midnight. Like if I have an idea, I can keep writing. I don't care about the hour. That's beautiful. I mean, like if you feel that, ooh, wow, That's amazing. Yeah.
Can relate to this too, but like the more you're working on whatever it is you love, your heart just feels full, right? And you're so into it, it's so intense, and you just don't want to stop. And you look at time, it's like dark outside. It's like, when did this happen? How long was I here for? It's like you're
How does this happen? And then you're just so tired that you want some coffee, and you wake up, and the world is so tired. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much how I spent. Like, I feel like you're still in university, aren't you?
Oh, that where? Like,
Are you
let's.
still in university? Are you still like studying?
Oh yes, I'm in university. I'm like studying right now. I have class tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like I spent all of university like cooped up in a studio space. Like I did something, other things here and there, but like I was either like teaching kids art, making my own art. There was no middle. All the other classes were kind of like I was there, but I wasn't really there. I was like, I want to go back to the studio now.
Yes, yes, of course. And you live closer to the studio.
I mean, right now I'm like in between studio spaces. Um, yeah,
Mhm.
like I get a studio space and then I pause for a couple months, then get in a studio space. But like I'm always making art. Like you can see behind me.
That's the point.
Yes, the creating doesn't stop. The studio space is like kind of pause a little here and there, but like the projects continue regardless of where you are. So that's where the passion comes in, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you have that passion, you like you said, art is behind you. Yes. Art, it is gonna be always behind you if you have that passion.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm sure.
literally and like metaphorically. Yeah.
Yes. Also me.
Yes, you do. Do you have any advice for people pursuing a career in literature?
I will tell them like to be authentic because the viewer deserves quality and truth. If you dedicate yourself to creating, the best thing is that you first learn to play. Yeah, artists are children, as we were talking, so we cannot be pretentious. And part of valuing our work is doing it with naturalness, without effortless. It's something natural. So do not pretend. Never forget to enjoy in your in your work. And artists must always remember why they are dedicated to this, because it's not an easy job, but the heart asks for it, like we were talking. Yeah, so that.
How about, I guess, is that for the arts or literature or like general for creatives?
Yeah, general for creatives. I think. But yeah, I mean, it can be like, yeah, it can be to all. Yeah, because the work of creates, it's a hard work. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, you touched an important point there. Like, be yourself, be authentic. Don't have like make things because you think they're gonna sell, or because the public's gonna like them. Make them because you want to make them, and the audience is gonna find you wherever they are. Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't make things like you wanna sell them. I mean, my marketing director is is hitting with that, not me. So that, so the point of an artist is, yes, I mean, the essence of the artist is the most valuable thing that you have, the way you are as a person, the what is the meaning of your work, like what is behind your work. Like I remember um this move of from theater, that it's also a move from painting, I think. Yeah, dadaism. I remember in dadaism, artists just know their paintings. No, I mean, people think Dadaist paintings are just something so crazy, and they don't understand that. But the Dadaist painter knows what it's the meaning of that. I mean, that painter knows that it's something behind that. That's there's meaning. There's something um, that he wants to tell the world. That's why it's not a piece of of whatever. Like it's art and it's something beautiful because the artist put its heart on it. Yeah, we have to value that. I mean, people should value that in all kinds of art.
Yeah, I feel like that movement's not talked about enough. Definitely like changed the art world and the way you look at art, because it's super experimental. It really goes against the traditional notion of art and writing. I feel like even the writing itself, I think I learned this in class at some point in time, but like there was a writer, I don't know names right now, but they cut out like newsletter cuttings and threw it on the ground, and whatever it is, however it landed, that was the poem, which I was like, it's so creative and so cool, and you don't know what it's gonna get, and you don't know how people are gonna perceive it. Which, I mean, it's so spontaneous. It's like leaving it up to chance, but yet it's like letting the universe talk to you. Sounds so spiritual, but like, you know what I mean? It's out there. It's me letting it go and letting the universe, letting the words do its thing. I feel like that's what I like about it. And one of the other bigger artists that comes to mind when you say Dadaism is like Marcel Duchamp. The guy changed history because no one, up to this day, I feel like no one understands his work. Are you familiar with Marcel Duchamp?
With Marcel
Duchamp.
I heard about, yeah, but not like familiar. Like I know like everything, but you can tell me, of course.
Have you seen I think it's a urinal he made. He wrote art on it. He was essentially like criticizing society and like his critiquing the art world, because he literally put a urinal in a gallery. Yeah, a lot of his work is like he would like take actual already ready-made things and he would put them together and put them in a gallery. I kind of sort of understand his work, but I don't. But what's intriguing about it, it's more intriguing because I don't get it. Like I want to get it, but I don't get it. And thing is, do you know what I mean? This makes it more interesting because you understand it.
Some artists, like as as artists are people, like there are some like that we see an artist work and we connect like in that moment with the artist. But there are sometimes we do not, because there are also people like us. So yes, it happens to me, like that I like really take my time to see a painting, or to see a sculpture, or to read a book also, because everyone is like, oh, this book is so good and you have to read it, it's gonna change your life. And then when I finish the book, it's like I did not understand, like um I don't know, like it has not connect with me, like with my feelings, or maybe with my identity, or I don't know, but it's something does not happen, but it happened with other people, like other people just felt the connection and the real connection. Wow, it's incredible how we can be so different.
Like, how's the art world in Peru? Have you worked in galleries before? Have you networked and connected with other artists in Peru or in Canada? Because I feel like you're kind of in both at this point.
Yes. I mean, in Peru, in this year, I have been connected to other artists. I do not have much friends in like artist friends. My friends are from college. But in arts, yes, unfortunately, in this year, I have made 2 or 3 friends, artist friends. But yes, I connect with some artists from Peru. I mean, in a virtual space that I also have, that is based on my novel, Roma Enamorada. We have a magazine with a friend. So in this magazine, we interview Peruvian artists and also artists from all the world. So yes, there I take my time to connect with with Peruvian artists, and yeah, Peruvian artists are like really interesting jobs, like really interesting jobs.
An artisan, a sculpture.
Yeah, like an artisan. That's the word, an artisan. Yeah, I mean, here in Peru, we have like really, really great and good artisans in Cusco. I don't know if you have heard of Machu Picchu.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. I mean, well, like one of the place that people said you should go, you should go. Like my mind was like, nah, nah. But when I did go, when I went, oh, it was so beautiful. Like you have this sensation of calm, of not like relaxed happiness, of being like really full, like really yes, it's a very, very nice sensation. um and yes, the place itself, it's beautiful. Like the streets are like this way, like like they're not
Like slanted.
yeah, they're not so they're like diagonal. It's like you have like you walk on mountains, something like that. Yeah,
Oh, it's like
something.
a steep hill, like a steep. Okay.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, yeah, and you don't get tired. That's beautiful too. Yeah, because like it's air. They have so many trees in that part of Peru. Um, yeah, oxygen is really really good in that part. So yeah, it's like you really feel the difference of like staying in the city, which is, for example, Lima, who is the capital of Peru. That it's not so good. Like I don't like it. The difference of Lima and Machu Picchu, for example, that it's in Cusco, right? You breathe like a lot better in Machu Picchu to explore yourself too. I mean, like as a writer, I think that's one of the place where you can write a book. Yeah, in 2 months, something like that. It's like
It's
so
inspirational.
cool. Yeah. Oh. I don't know, but I think there are some writers that like to write not in peaceful spaces, like that like to write in places with more sounds, with more loud sounds. No, like you like to write, for example, in places with a lot of noise or not.
I need quiet. Like I need to like be alone when I'm working. I'll have music playing in the background a little bit, but like I need to be alone when I'm working on anything. Really, I get distracted easily, or like I just kind of lose my focus, and I don't like it that when that happens. Like when like you get in the zone, like you're like when you're painting and like hours have passed by, you don't notice that hours have passed by. That's the best feeling. But like when um I guess when you're surrounded by people, I mean that's not a bad thing, but at the same time, like when you're kind of like trying to focus on something, it's distracting, and especially when you have deadlines. Let's say like it's not the best place to work. I think.
Yes, I feel the same. Yeah, yeah, with interruptions. I mean, then I don't remember what I was doing. So yeah, yeah, that happens. I think peaceful spaces are the best thing for that. Yeah, in all kinds of arts.
Do you have any closing remarks, like to conclusion, like a conclusion? Yes. You can say
Ah,
how do you want to end it?
oh, like a conclusion.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Um, well, that I had so much fun. That was so interesting. I mean, we have to do so many things when I will go to Canada. For sure. We have to do at least. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely like on the list. That's happening.
Yes.
Yes, I feel like we were connected on I guess power healing of arts. I feel like that's always really important. I feel like those listeners should understand that art is not just a pretty picture. It helps you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, even physically, just to get you in a better place and just to embrace your emotions and let that power you through your creativity, through your life, and don't run away from it. Let that be your power. Don't let it hold you back.
Yes, I'm totally agree. Yeah, and artists have this beautiful mission that have to take care of. It's not just being a pretty face in TV. It's more than that. That's why I don't like TV. No, no, just kidding. But yeah, I mean, we have to do something as an artist, as human beings too. Yeah, we have a big responsibility now in difficult times where people need us. People need real connections. People need healing from to take care of them. Need fun too. Need fun too. Yeah. After that, after being locked down in like 2 years, like I mean, we need some fun. And art gives you healing, fun, and so many beautiful things as we talk.
All right. Thank you, Jimena, for coming.
No, thank you. I mean, I'm living with a beautiful experience and also with a new friend.